called Big Cat.
Deion.
Hey, Deion.
You ready for football?
I am.
It's another season, baby.
Pro Football Show.
All right, Deion. Showtime. Football is back.
Welcome back to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Week in and week out, the Silverado brings it with unstoppable grit and determination. Week 15 of the NFL, we are back at the set. Brandon Walker back, sitting in for Dave. So give a round of applause.
Give me a round of applause, please. Yes,
I
thank you
think
very
that
much.
About the NFL.
I think that
I
you
know everything about the NFL.
potentially
I've seen
have
over 240 games.
the worst record that Dan has had all year.
Well, that was Dan's record. My primetime pick that week was the Bears. He
Yeah, I
told
know,
me-
but your other picks stunk.
Not my other picks. They were all your picks.
No. They were not.
He did say when he sat down, Dan, when the first time he was on the show, that he was speaking for you only sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know how
Got
much
it.
of that was you, how much of that was him.
No, he submarined me.
I
That's
loved
fine.
my time on the show, and it was the first time I ever met Deion. I remember the first thing he ever said to me was, "Man, I ain't going to Colorado." Boy, that was nice.
My Dana Beers is really a good guy, but when he leaves me and gets away and disconnects, he's Dana Beers.
Well, you
I
need
just
to
know
get-
Dana.
You need to
I
get
don't know
back in
Dana
his
Beers.
life. You need to take him to Colorado with you.
Well,
I'm not going to Colorado.
he's got the smile. He's
I don't
like,
remember that.
Yeah.
I do not recall that.
Okay, all right. Well, we have it on tape.
I will say, Deion, that happened, and it was more of in a joking sense because Brandon was kind of giving you a hard time about it. And then we ran the show, I believe, the day after you took the job at Colorado officially. And so we're like, well, we'll just blame it on Brandon Walker at this point. But Brandon also, never forget, you also made his day horrible because you told him about the Miami Dolphin cleats. So that was another thing that happened that day.
That's right. And Deion, I do feel bad for you because, listen, Boulder, Colorado is an incredible place, an incredible city.
Yes.
But you're leaving some of the best Southern food in America, and I made that transition before. Are you going to be okay food-wise?
I'm going to be okay, but I did get a text from Dave that said I stole his concept when I go into restaurants now and I critique the food. So I did turn around and give him credit, and I told him I took it from you and I'm doing it in your face. So I did. I rate the breakfast places that I go into Boulder, Colorado now.
Yeah, not
and
much
Big
you can say
Cat is
about
a
that. You just
hit.
took his
Everybody
time.
there loves Big Cat. Everybody loves Big Cat in Boulder. He's a
Telling
hit.
you need me on the recruiting trails, I'll do it for you. Whatever you need.
I got you.
Yeah, you said he's an icon in Boulder. He's legendary.
He is.
People
He's
are saying
unbelievable.
it. Yeah, people are saying it. They're my second team now.
I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to jump on the Colorado bandwagon, but you were on there before Deion was even there. So that's,
we went and visited. I love the colors. Colorado is one of those schools in my mind. Growing up in the 90s, like them being good in college football is something I want.
Yep, me too. Okay. I was 15 years old in 1994 when Rashaan Salam won the Heisman.
Right.
I want him to be good again, and I think I've got it.
Yeah, I think that this is the guy to get it done. So, Deion, you noticed this before we started recording, that you think that this is the first week. So we're going into week 15, so it took 14 weeks for you to have the worst record on the show.
Yeah, I can't believe I finally lost, but I had to make everyone feel loved.
That's what it was. You were just making sure everybody felt special, everybody felt included.
Has Deion fell off?
Deion's fallen off.
Oh, no.
Deion fell off.
I'm not falling
finally.
off. I still have a sizable lead, but I'm going to dominate again now. Let's get it on.
All right, we've got some Saturday NFL games this week, which is always fun. But Deion, also Saturday, you have the Celebration Bowl. And you mentioned whenever we talked about you taking the job at Colorado, you think, and we were trying to figure it out, we agree, you're one of the only coaches that we know of that's ever coaching two different college teams at the same time. Big time game for you.
I've been known to do two things at once. I've been known to do two things simultaneously and doing pretty well. We just got to keep the main things. Big game, huge game. It's going to be televised. I believe it was an ABC game.
Yep.
ABC game, probably going to be our largest televised audience of the season. We're going to have all type of fans watching from all over the country now since we are Buffalo now. So we're going to go out there and do what we do.
I'm going to be watching.
Keep the main thing.
I'm going to be
I know
watching.
you are. And you're going to be texting too.
Well, it's your last game at Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you even consider punting in plus territory, I'm be on your ass. Because this is it.
What about if it's a fake punt?
Empty the clip. Empty the clip. It's it. This is your last game.
You know what? I said, that's why I love you, Big Cat, because I did tell our coaches Empty the clip.
Yes.
Empty the clip.
Let's go. You got nothing to hold back.
Any fake plays, anything that we wanted to do during the season, this is the week to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, Deion, you're known as a flashy guy for good reason. I feel like you should just be as flashy as you possibly want to be as a coach.
No, what he's going to do is he's going to punt from the 37.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
4th and 1.
4th and 2.
And be like, well, our defense is good.
Guys, I don't know if you know it, but we're an O.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I know.
I just wanted to share that.
Yeah.
So whatever it's been.
Yeah, but guess what? You can still criticize coaches. That's what I do best. If there's one thing I do well, it's sitting on my couch and saying how this coach is stupid and I do it differently.
You do it really well, too.
Yeah, that's it.
You could go and O for the rest of your career, but if you punt one time that Dan or Dave does not agree with, you'll hear about it for the rest of time.
Oh, definitely. And he will use profanity, and he means it. Like when he uses it, he means it.
I got a question, Deion. You guys, Jackson State just named a new coach today. Coach Taylor, right, is the new head coach of.
We just named him.
Yeah,
we just named him.
Of Jackson State. So
They just named him.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
Like today, it's
That's fine. But on Saturday in the Celebration Bowl, if Coach Taylor comes up to you and says, "Coach, I got it. I'm going to run things today," how's that going to go?
It ain't gonna happen.
Okay. All right.
It's still his team, Brandon.
All right.
It is still his team.
Still my guys.
It's still his team.
And I'm taking and like Big Cat says, I'm taking the quarterback if there's any dispute.
Yeah, he's taking his guys with him. He's bringing his Louis luggage. We know that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the storyline games of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. We've already broken down the action that happened before this show airs. Now let's talk about Sunday's games. Deion, we'll start with the Lions at the Jets. The Lions have won 5 of the last 6. The Jets, as of right now, are out of playoff contention. However, they're still kind of hanging around. Mike White just got his ass absolutely kicked last week against the Bills. My question, Deion, are the Lions actually good at football this year?
I think they're average team now. They used to be just terrible. Now they're an average football team, and you got to prepare for them. You can't just think they're a homecoming game coming into town. Now the problem is when a dome team goes outside to play outside the dome this time of the year, it's not good for a dome team. Even though the Jets are out of contention, that's not good because guys get that in their head. They're not playing for nothing, and they normally don't play for nothing. I'm going to stick with the Jets simply because they're at home playing against a dome team outside in New York.
Brandon, you had a little bit of an issue with what he just said?
Well, there were a couple things. A, the Jets aren't out of playoff contention. They're just currently outside of the playoffs.
Yes.
But they are definitely in playoff contention.
Yeah, as of right now, they're, yes.
Okay.
They can't make the playoffs. No, she led you down a bad path.
I said as of right now, they're still in the mix.
Well, okay, but anyway, the Lions are a good football team.
Yes.
The Lions are a good football team right now. Like, at the beginning of the year, okay, they were still the Lions. They've won 6 out of 7. Like, this is a good 5 out of 6. Excuse me. This is a good football team. I think the Jets win the game.
Okay, Dan, are they a good football team?
They are a good football team. I'm going to go with the Lions, and I'm going to go with them because the Jets' defense I respect very highly. Like, they are an elite defense. The Lions do have a good offensive line, and I think that that's where they'll be able to neutralize them a little bit. You saw last week the Bills struggle a little bit with the Jets because, Josh Allen's running for his life. Their offensive line hasn't been, stellar. They've had some injuries. I think the Lions' offensive line will keep them in this game. I think the Lions win this game.
This was one of those conversations I was talking to TJ before the show started, and it was like, is it going to bring up the best worst team or the worst best team? Do you put the Lions anywhere in that, or are they just good?
No, they're good.
Well, here's the thing. They could sneak into these playoffs, and it's going to be a weird situation where the NFC North champ, the Vikings, and the Lions both get in, and you would rather play the Vikings.
Yeah.
You would much rather play the Vikings.
Agreed.
Bengals at Bucks. Now, Dan, you mentioned, I believe it was last week on Twitter, you officially announced that you cashed out your Ravens future bet and put a future on the Bengals, which the Bengals have now won 5 in a row. We know how good they are. And then meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we've mentioned, got completely embarrassed last week by Brock Purdy. Tom Brady, not having a great few games, has 4 interceptions in the last 4 games. But when you look at the Cincinnati Bengals team and how they started this year and where they are now, what can you expect from them?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I got them at 13-1. They're playing great defense, which I think people don't realize. Their second half defense has been phenomenal. And Joe Burrow, since week 5, they basically sat down with him and were like, you control the offense more. And they've won 6 out of 7. They've weird thing to do, let your franchise quarterback, who's phenomenal, have more of a say on what gets actually called on Sunday. And on the other side, the Bucs are just a bad football team. We have to stop thinking no one wants to see Tom Brady in the playoffs. It's not Tom Brady. His arm strength is still there. The team is not good. He doesn't trust his offensive line. They look slow. They just look like they're stuck in mud at all times. The Bengals are going to win this game. Let's stop pretending the Bucs are good.
Deion, you've been. We've talked about it a million times. As you know, you're one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest of all time at your position. Tom Brady also there. You've talked a lot about how you're not concerned about Tom Brady because of who he is and his status. But like Dan just said, are you concerned more about this team now, even though they have Tom Brady as their quarterback?
Yeah, the team. It seems like it. And Dan made great points, but it seemed like, isn't it the same team?
Well, not the same offensive line.
Personnel?
They've lost essentially their entire offensive line. Ali Marpet retired. Alex Kappa went to a different team. Ryan Jensen hurt. Tristan Wirfs hurt. So Brady's at a point in his career, he needs that offensive line to be elite.
He needs that offensive line. Defensively, I thought they were the same. I thought everyone returned. I thought they had all
Shaq Barrett
the same.
got hurt, so they've had some secondary. Yeah, they're not. They've lost
some secondary people.
Yeah, no.
But
Gronk.
I mean, to fall apart and look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's not good. Tom Brady is doing what Tom Brady is capable of doing. He can't put them all on his back and carry them into the promised land anymore. He needs more help. I like the Bucs in this game. I know they're still leading that division, I believe. The division is horrible, I know. Mm-hmm. But I really think the Bucs are going to win this game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals are good, but they're not great. I really do. I don't think they're great.
Brandon?
Well, this was also the time of year last year when the Bengals turned it on. They won some big road games. And Dan had the best point. You know, people talk about Burrow, but that defense is what got them to the Super Bowl last year, shutting down Patrick Mahomes and making him uncomfortable. What are they going to do to a statue that is Tom Brady behind an offensive line that is very good? I think the Bengals win the game.
Let's go to Sunday.
Burrow's a statue too now. You do know Burrow's a statue too, right?
No,
Burrow's not a statue.
No, he's not. No,
Burrow is a statue.
No, Burrow's active.
No, he's
Burrow's been the most one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the last couple of years.
He's
I'm pretty sure
that
statistically.
offensive line.
Yeah.
He's not a statue.
No,
he's not like Tom Brady.
Okay, so we're gonna blame it all on the line. Okay, yeah, they got kids watching this. I just want you to know that.
They do have kids. But you guys have kids too watching this. So.
Do we know for a fact all the Cincinnati Bengals offensive linemen have kids? We don't know that for a fact.
Probably not.
True.
That's probably not.
True.
But if they do have kids, they're watching this.
Okay, fair enough.
Talk about Sunday Night Football. The Giants at the Commanders. These two tied in Week 13, 2020. The Commanders are playing the Giants back-to-back with a bye week in between. Brandon, this game, obviously, no one wants to see ties. And I know, Dan, you had a great idea. Ties, it gets count as two.
Yep.
When you look at this game, who do you think comes out with the win?
I want this to be a tie.
You do?
I want them to play twice, and I want it to be a tie both times. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah.
And then you almost have to combine them and put them in the playoffs together because neither one of them is better than the other. But honestly, though, at home, Commanders, I like the Commanders.
Deion?
I like the Commanders solely because they're at home. I like the Commanders.
And Dan?
Yeah, I mean, the Giants, Brian Dable's done a great job. Their team is just not that good. Like, they just don't have a lot of top-end talent. And you saw it against the Eagles. Like, if they get in a hole, their offense isn't built to come back. I'm going to take the Commanders, especially off of bye week.
We're going to pick some more games in just a little bit, but let's go to #IBelieve, which is also going to Boulder, Colorado, as we know. So it's Deion's saying. Yep. Deion, you mentioned that last week that you think that it's going to come down to the Cowboys and the Eagles in the NFC. We're going to talk about the Cowboys in a little bit, but we saw them struggle mightily against the Houston Texans last week. But do you think that was just a one-game situation, or what did you see from the Cowboys?
Yeah. Texans played their butts off. That just happens. It happened sometime, and last week was the time it happened. But what came out of that is Dak Prescott proved that he is worth his weight in gold. Yes. And I love that, to have the team, the fans, everyone to believe in him a little more, and he put him on his back and drove him down and got the victory. I love that. It was supposed to happen just as it happened. That moment is going to propel the Cowboys into the NFC Championship. You
were just basically being a preacher to Brandon because he was just back down. He was shouting you down. He was like, yes to everything you said about Dak because you love Dak.
Dak is not good.
He's his second favorite human.
He went 98 yards to win a football game.
The Texans.
3 days before that, we praised Baker Mayfield. Nobody even said anything about Dak doing it.
I want to see Dak win a playoff game. He's won one playoff game in his entire career.
Okay, well.
Well, you praised Baker for winning one game in his entire
Well, I mean, that
career.
was more like happy for Baker. It wasn't like Baker's incredible.
No, you was clapping with your feet for Baker.
I'm just saying, Dak's good. Is that great? Surveys out.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Okay.
We will see. Brandon, what is your I believe for this week?
I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are set up for one of the biggest heartbreaks we've seen in a very, very long time. They are lapping the field in the NFC right now. The Vikings are 10-3 behind them. They don't look good. The Cowboys are 10-3 behind them. They look bad Sunday night. I believe the Eagles are putting themselves in a position. It is now definitely Super Bowl or bust because they're just killing teams. But man, they're going to come out of that bye and they're going to face a team that didn't take a week off, and they're going to be in a spot where the heartbreak they would feel if they lost in these playoffs, the pressure they're going to have is immense, and I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. I think the heartbreak Philadelphia Eagles will feel this year, it will be incredible.
Dan.
Stupid.
Why is that stupid?
There's the third stupid.
I don't know. I don't know why we keep picking apart the Eagles when they're just like they're good. They're really, really good.
They are. They're incredible. They're very
good.
Okay,
but the heartbreak, like there are. Okay, this actually works to my I believe. By the way, nailed my I believe yesterday. Anyone or last week? Anyone want to compliment me?
So his I believe was that the Panthers will beat.
1 out of 10 ain't bad.
The Panthers will beat the Seahawks and put some heat on the Bucs, and the Bucs do have a 1-game lead in the division, but there's definitely heat.
There's heat because guess what? The Panthers play Jerry's sad sack Pittsburgh Steelers this week at home, and the Bucs are going to lose to the Bengals. They're going to be tied. They're going to be tied when we're talking on Monday. So I nailed that. Could have nailed it more. It was even my primetime pick. I picked an underdog primetime pick. Who does that?
Nobody does that.
All right. My I believe this is the clearest it's ever been for the NFL going into the stretch run. People are saying, "Oh, this season stinks. No one's really great." No. There are 3 teams in the AFC, 3 teams in the NFC. That's it. Those teams are going to be in the Super Bowl. One of those teams is winning the Super Bowl. That's it. Everyone stop pretending that everyone else is on that level. In the AFC, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. One of those 3 teams is going to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners. One of those teams is going to the Super Bowl. That's it. End of story. And that goes to what Brandon's saying. I don't think, as you could say, heartbreak in the fact that the Eagles have a great record, but I think that the Cowboys, Niners, and Eagles are all in the same spot. If the Eagles lose to any of those other 2 teams, I wouldn't say it's heartbreak because I think those teams are all on the same level.
But it would be.
It would be heartbreak just because it's heartbreak whenever you lose a big playoff game. But I'm saying, like, the Eagles, I don't think the Eagles are head and shoulders above those other 2 teams. They're head and shoulders above every other team.
I feel like they have kind of put themselves head and shoulders above those 2 teams, too.
Well, I think that's...
Those last 2 weeks for the Eagles have been
No, they have. They've been phenomenal.
Impressive.
They're peaking at the right time. But that's it. Those are the 6 teams. Everyone stop talking about every other team. We try to do this every year. We're like, oh, the NFL stinks. There's no good teams. No. Those 6 teams are very good. Those 6 teams will be your Super Bowl and Super Bowl champion.
Deion, you love Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's having an MVP caliber year. He's continuing that. Do you agree with Dan that this is like the Eagles, and I mean all the other teams as well, but that the Eagles are the real deal here? They could win the Super Bowl.
No, they could. Quarterback's playing well, defense playing well. They could run the football as well. When the passing game isn't working, you still got to account for the quarterback running the darn football. So this is a scary team. It really is. The thing that I worry about, though, is an outdoor team. Can they do it in inclement weather? That's the thing I worry about.
It is time for the Game Time Game of the Week. We're going to bring up Jersey Jerry right now. Game Time is the official ticket provider of Barstool Sports. Score last-minute tickets to this week's Game Time Game of the Week or any sport, concert, or show with the Game Time app. Download the app, create an account, redeem code football for $20 off your first order. Terms do apply. Jerry, I have to apologize because we were talking before the show. You said you missed your manicure appointment to be here today.
Yes, I did. I had Barstool was nice enough to give us free manicures today, and I made an appointment a week ago for this day, and I didn't know we were doing the show, so I missed it.
So, Deion, he missed his manicure appointment for you. That's how much he loves you.
Wow.
You seem like a manicure
Jerry,
guy, Deion.
Manicure and pedicure is very important.
Yeah.
Is he a manicure guy?
No, I'm a mani-pedi.
Mani-pedi.
I'm a mani-pedi, and I get a discount. because I only have 8 toes.
Is this a football show?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
it's a football show.
And men can get manis and petties, too. Football guys, of course.
Yeah, football guys, I'm sure, get it.
Big Cat, you have on a waist trainer. What are you talking about?
I'm actually not wearing my Spanx today, Deion. Thank you very much.
Well, I didn't say you had a slimming effect today. I can tell when you have on your Spanx.
I can tell, too. I feel very fat today.
No, you're never fat. You're just slimming. you have a slimming effect on you when you have your Spanx on.
Normalized Spanx, normalized mani-pedis for everybody. All right, Jerry, what do you got for us this week?
If you rode with me last week, you won because the Broncos covered. This week's a little different. Patriots coming off a big win. Pretty much a must-win last week for the Patriots. But I think the season collapses here. And I don't think Mac Jones is the guy. I really don't. They played a pretty weak Arizona team. Kyler Murray went out early in the game. I'm going to take the Raiders this week to win outright. The Raiders are at home. They got nothing to play for, really. Devontae Adams nobody even mentioned him earlier in the show. He's the best wide receiver in the league by a mile.
Not by a mile.
No.
By a mile?
By a mile.
All I had to do was just look over and see their reaction.
That's so stupid, Jerry. By a mile?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it's very arguable any of those directions.
Deion, do you think
Devontae's been holding it down for a long time?
Is the best receiver in the league by a mile?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
That Devontae is the best receiver in the league by a mile is what Jerry's saying.
Jerry don't believe that. Jerry
he would torch you. He would torch you, Devontae. I'd put up my Barstool salary, which is not big. I'd put it up against a one-on-one. I'd pick Devontae.
Now or when he was in his prime?
Oh, in the prime.
Oh, Jerry, you don't mean that.
Yes, Devontae's the truth.
Jerry don't mean that.
Yeah, you can tell by Deion's smile. He knows you don't
Come back to
believe
me
that.
when Devontae scores 2 touchdowns again, like he's been doing all season this week.
Okay, well.
You know what, Jerry? I would have bet you in my prime. See, I didn't bet money because it wasn't a fair shake. It wouldn't be right because, all of us are hardworking people. I bet things like embarrassing things. Like you'd have had to drive me around in the back of my car naked while you drove. And you had to get out and come around and open the doors for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can send Jerry out to Colorado to drive you around.
That changes the bet.
Yes.
That changes the bet now. He's not so confident now, is he? You see? That changes the whole bet.
I think you should do it, Jerry, if you're so confident.
Yeah.
No.
He wouldn't do it.
You don't want to drive around naked?
No, I don't.
So you don't believe. He does not believe.
Listen, Raiders is the play this week. Don't overthink it. Patriots, they're just not good. They're just really not a good football team.
All right, thank you, Jerry. So, Deion, you mentioned earlier in the show that when guys are out of playoff contention, that they don't really, they have nothing to play for. The Raiders are officially eliminated from playoff contention.
Oh, yeah.
So when
It's
you
over.
look at the Patriots and the Raiders, do you think that the Raiders even care to show up?
Yeah, they'll show up because guys are getting checks, but some guys will shut it down. Trust me. I'm going with the Patriots in this game.
Brandon?
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots too, although I don't like them as a football team. The Raiders just know how to lose, and they really know how to lose. So I like the Patriots, even though I don't like either of the teams.
Yeah. And it's also Bill Belichick versus Josh McDaniel. I'll take Bill Belichick all day in that matchup.
Look at the line. The line tells you everything you need to know.
Okay, well, this isn't a line show.
Well, I'm just saying.
Whoa.
It is his segment.
All right, whatever. I'm done.
No.
Jerry, he didn't mean to have that type of tone with you, Jerry. He didn't mean it. Jerry, he didn't mean it.
Oh, he's gone.
He does.
Say I'm done.
He does have a Manny appointment to get to, so he does very important things.
No one walks out like him.
Nobody, and he means it too.
No one walks out like
He
him.
means it with all the passion in his heart. Let's get to the rapid fire games of the week presented by Cross Country Mortgage. Players watch game film. Oh, is Jerry coming back?
Yeah, he probably forgot something.
Is Jerry?
Oh, he definitely forgot something.
And now we need to see. We have to figure out if Jerry's coming back or not.
Hey,
he's back. All right.
Jerry.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, he had to give his mic up.
Yeah.
That's a good man. Though.
Jerry. Oh, wow. He's gone again.
Gone again. At least he brought his mic back. It's time for the rapid fire games of the week presented by Cross Country Mortgage. Players watch game film to prepare. Finding your dream home is no different, and Cross Country Mortgage is the partner that's prepped to put you in position to win. Reach out to us today at ccm.com/barstool. That's ccm.com/barstool. ccm.com/barstool. Equal housing opportunity in MLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. In MLSconsumeraccess.org. Deion, Atlanta Falcons. I know you don't like to pick against them or with them. Playing the Saints. Both,
I hate to do it.
I know. Both teams coming off of a bye. And as of right now, Andy Dalton is still starting for the New Orleans Saints. What are you going to do with your Falcons?
You know what? I always end up going back home. So I'm going to go with the Falcons, even though I don't want to, and I know they're going to hurt me in the end. I'm going to go with my old Falcons.
Brandon? Oh, that was weird.
Deion, is your 1991 playoff win over the Saints one of your favorite victories ever?
Yes, it is.
That was incredible. The Saints were, I think, the number 1 seed that year. Anyway, this year they are not the number 1 seed, and they are doing something. They're coach watching. They're already starting to look to Peyton. They want Peyton to come back. They're done. I like the Falcons to win the game.
And Dan, we know how you feel about Andy Dalton still starting for the
Saints,
Saints,
and Desmond Ridder now starting for the Falcons, so I think you'll see something out of them, something different. So I'm going to take the Falcons.
Okay, Brandon, the Steelers at the Panthers. We've talked about the Panthers earlier in the show. That was Dan's, I believe, last week. They control their own destiny for the playoffs, which is crazy to say after all they've been through this year. And you look at the Steelers, and they're just not good. Kenny Pickett didn't play last week. Mitch Trubisky struggled. Do you believe in the Panthers?
Yeah, somehow. The Panthers are the weirdest team in the league. There's no reason they should be in contention for anything. Now, it helps the division sucks, but with all they've lost and all they've gone through, I like the Panthers to win this game.
Dan?
Yeah, Panthers. Give them to me.
Is there any concern of Trubisky going back to Carolina?
No.
Oh, good. Me either.
Deion?
You know what? I'm going to give these guys a chance to catch up with me. And just for the sake that my love and passion for Jerry, I'm going to go with the Steelers this week.
All right. Even though he took shots at you during his segment, you're going to ride with him. That's a true friend.
Yep.
All right, Dan, the Eagles at your Bears.
Bears easy.
Brandon?
Don't do that. Don't.
Bears easy.
I'm going to go
Shock the world.
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Yeah? Just on a whim. Just kind of a gut
doesn't
feeling.
need
Bears are off a bye.
Doesn't need more than that one sentence. I'm going to go with the Eagles in this game.
All right, Deion?
I'm going to go with the Eagles as well.
I think it's a fair pick.
Me and Deion out on a limb together.
The only thing that should make you nervous, Bears are my team. Eagles, I have my 22-1 on. I need them to get the 1 seed. Wouldn't that be just perfect catastrophe for me personally?
If you took the number 1 seed from yourself, or started
right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It would be very perfect.
That's
Barstool.
the world will find, when it comes to gambling, the world will always find a way to shit down my throat. This would be that way.
Wow.
All I'm saying.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
Beautifully put. Let's go the Chiefs at the Texans. Brandon.
Yeah, here's another limb. I'm going to go with the Chiefs to beat the Texans this week.
Yeah,
the Texans,
let's do it. Chiefs.
I'm
I
gonna
like
go
that.
with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs.
Deion, you riding with the Chiefs with these guys?
I like the Chiefs as well. The Texans they're trying to get the number 1 pick. I don't know who the guy is, but they're trying to lock it on.
I love when they get in the fourth quarter of these competitive games and then realize, oh, we got to make sure we solidify this number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You can see when the switch goes every week.
Yep, and the Chiefs going out on that limb is pretty safe.
Yeah, the last 2 have been really out there.
All right, let's talk about the Cowboys at the Jags. Deion, the Cowboys struggled last week against the Texans, but Dak Prescott gets it done at the end of the game. But the Jags also had a great day. Trevor Lawrence had a career-high day in their win against the Titans. When you look at this Cowboys team, though, do you think that they can easily take care of the Jags?
Yeah, the Jags are a much better team than they were a year previously. The Jags are getting ready to see a relentless defense, and they're probably going to get them out of there early. I'm going with the Cowboys in a big win.
Brandon?
I love the Jags. Listen, this isn't a gambling show. I bet on the Jags every single week, and it is a roller coaster because it's always interesting.
You know right away, yeah.
It is always interesting. I love the Jags. I love Trevor Lawrence coming into his own. I think the Jags win this game for a big win for the franchise.
Dan?
I'm going with Brandon.
Yeah.
This is just a close your eyes and envision this matchup. These 2 teams never play each other.
Never.
So
I can't even picture the uniforms together.
Right. And also the Cowboys screwing their chance for a 1 seed in Jacksonville, that just makes sense.
Let's talk about
It's a vibes game.
Vibes, and the vibes are high on this side of the
Jacksonville is also a place that the late season things go to die.
Bills last year, yeah.
The Cardinals at the Broncos. Dan, the Broncos are officially eliminated, so we don't have to worry about them in the playoffs. Russell Wilson got hurt last week. The Cardinals lose against the Patriots in Monday Night Football. They're 4-9. This is a gross game.
Gross game.
Gross.
Terrible game. I think the Broncos are going to win, though, because I think the Cardinals have officially quit. And the Broncos defense is still good, so give me the Broncos.
Deion, we've talked a lot about Cliff Kingsbury being a good coach, but it's just very strange what's going on in Arizona. Do you believe what Dan just said, that you think the Cardinals have just quit?
Oh, wow. Is Russell playing this week? Because
he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, that's what so is he playing or not?
We don't know.
Yeah,
that has a lot to do with my pick. Okay.
As of right now,
I'm undecided. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos only because it's at home, but that has a lot to do with my pick. Who's quarterback?
You should just make 2 picks.
I go with Denver at home. Don't like it, but I go with it at home.
Brandon?
Yeah, why not? Broncos. I thought you could see when the Cardinals quit last night in the second half. Like you could almost see it happen in live time. I like the Broncos.
All right, Titans at Chargers, Brandon. The Titans losing a couple games, but the Chargers with Justin Herbert last week against your Dolphins raised a lot of eyebrows. Do you think we see it again against Tennessee?
No, I think Herbert's good, and I think the Titans are just not a good football team right now, and they're not doing the things they got to do. Like they had a bizarre game the other day where Derrick Henry would look great, and then he looked awful, and it was just weird. I like the Chargers to win this game.
Deion?
I like the Chargers to win this game, too. They're going to put several guys in the box there, the Tennessee Titans, to throw the ball over their heads to stop Derrick Henry. I like the Chargers, please.
Dan?
Yeah, Chargers. The Titans' defense is what's kind of failed them recently. They've got a lot of injuries, and the Chargers now get some guys back from injury. I think the Chargers are going to win this game.
Let's talk Monday Night Football, the Rams at the Packers. Dan, we saw Baker Mayfield come in and just absolutely light up the internet at the end of that game against the Raiders. The Packers on a bye week. We know how much you hate Aaron Rodgers, but do you believe in Baker Mayfield enough to beat this Green Bay Packers team?
Don't. I think the Packers are going to win this game. I do love the Packers fans have this little graphic they're sharing on Twitter right now being like, this is all that needs to happen for us to get in the playoffs. And the first thing that needs to happen is the Commanders and the Giants both have to go 1-3 to finish it out. They play each other, so one of them's going to get a win right there.
Right.
So one of them's got to get one other win. So the Packers are dead, but they're going to win this game.
Brandon?
Coming from the world I come from, I love when fan bases get a graphic that they all just share en masse, and they all think they're making the best point ever, when really the graphic's kind of stupid. You're all just grasping at straws here. Packers I just don't see the Baker magic happening twice.
Deion, do you see the Baker magic happening twice?
Nope, not whatsoever.
So you're on the Packers?
Yep. Not whatsoever. Baker is going to – I want the man to come back and make a comeback and be successful. I hate people, not succeeding. And I want Baker to come back, but I don't think it's going to happen this week.
It's time for the primetime pick of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. Deion, you won September and November, as we always mention. You are 2-0. Team Dave, which is where you are.
I'm on Team Dave?
You are Team
That's
Dave.
Ironic. Okay.
You're on Team Dave. I know you never are, but you are also 2-0. Dan, you went 1-1, but you did take an underdog last week. You took the Panthers. Nobody does that.
Both weeks.
Nobody does that.
Ballsy guy.
You are a ballsy guy. Who are you taking this week, Dan?
The Texans. No, just kidding. I'll take the Chiefs.
It's like, that's incredibly ballsy.
Yeah,
Brandon, who are you taking?
So I was going to ask how you do that. Do you just go with the easiest one on the board, Dan, or do you sometimes throw a challenge at yourself? I'm throwing a challenge at myself.
Okay.
I like the Chargers.
Well, it's not really yourself because it's Dave's team.
Well, I'm never on Team Portnoy.
Okay, so you're.
It's myself when I'm in this chair.
Gotcha. So you're taking the Chargers.
The Chargers to beat the Titans.
All right, Deion, who's your primetime pick of the week?
I'm taking San Fran this week.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else, guys?
No.
Brandon?
Great show.
Yeah, great show. Brandon, thank you for coming back. You only got called stupid like 3 times.
Good luck in the Celebration Bowl, Deion, to finish that and O.
Gotta dominate.
Better keep that punter on the sidelines.
Yes, we will.
Better keep that punter on the sidelines.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.